delivering programs in their various institutions, to interact and exchange ideas to ensure that what is expected of you in terms of quality delivery has been achieved in your various institutions.
Amadou Touré believes that the platform will create an environment of information sharing and the exchange of best practices in the drive to make their functions more effective and efficient.
This is one of many series. We are targeting all trainers, registered trainers in the country, for the purpose of making you more effective, more productive in your work, to make our programs relevant.
The initiative of bringing trainers on the one platform is a key objective of the NTA in the drive to achieve a skills-driven population. Suleiman Bari, co-facilitator, shares this belief of the NTA in bridging the capacity gaps in the vocational sector.
As trainers, we touch all lives. We touch all lives. We train everyone. We are responsible for the skills. We are responsible for the knowledge. We are responsible for shaping attitude of an entire, generation.
Participants at the seminar are drawn from NTA licensed and accredited institutions who have no professional training in teaching. It is NTA's responsibility to make sure that all lecturers in the country are trained to ensure that quality is delivered. Thus, the catchphrase for the induction seminar is quality training for quality service delivery. Reporting for Grts News, I am Fatou Janembai.
The ambassador of the Gulf state of Qatar to the Gambia, His Excellency Mohammed Al-Kahab, has joined his compatriots across the world to commemorate their country's National Day. The celebration, as Samuel Barr reports, marked 135 years of emancipation from the Bahrainis.
Qatar National Day is a commemoration of the country's national unification and independence, which was achieved over a century ago by their founding father, the revered Sheikh Jassim, who paid a very high price in his drive to bring the entire country towards unity. The national occasion of patriotism emphasizes Doha's identity, history, and embodies their ideals and visionary aspirations that the country was founded on, paying homage to the brave men and women who fought very hard to unify the divided country, which was once torn apart by conflict and tribal loyalties. As a country which quickly emerges from a decadent small state in the Persian Gulf to a more vibrant economic state, it has achieved an unprecedented production of petroleum and natural gas within a short space of time. The ambassador of the Gulf state, His Excellency Mohammed Al-Kahab, also pays tribute to the founding fathers of the emerging economic superpower state who led the country to unity. His Excellency Al-Kahab, who presented his credentials earlier to President Jammeh a few months ago, also acknowledges the historical ties between Doha and Banjul, which he said further demonstrates his government's and investors' commitment to explore the huge potentials inherent in the Gambia. Fatou Mas Job Njai, the Minister of Tourism and Culture, who after extending felicitations to the ambassador for his country's 135 years of development and peace, also underscored the formidable ties both countries continue to enjoy following the visit of the Gambian leader to Doha in 2010.
The government of the Republic of the Gambia and the government of the state of Qatar have enjoyed harmonious and cordial relations based on our shared values, particularly the pursuance of human development for our respective peoples, especially in an era of global economic decline.
The Tourism Minister further reiterates the Gambia government's appreciation towards the continuous health, educational, and social assistance the country continues to receive from their Qatari counterparts, while urging investors to come and further discover the Gambia.
I will hence seize this opportunity to once again extend an invitation to investors in the state of Qatar to please come and explore the business opportunities in the Gambia, with the guarantee that our country provides one of the vital preconditions for investment. Those are the peace and stability.
Qatar was emancipated from Bahraini rule in 1878, thanks to their visionary leader, Sheikh Jassim, who led the country to unity. In 1916, it was a British protectorate until it was declared an independent state from British rule in 1971. Since then, the country has been one of the fastest developing states in the world, producing both petroleum and natural gas. Qatar will be hosting the 2022 World Cup, which is expected to be attended by millions of fans around the world. As the guests wine and dine in celebration of another memorable day in the history of Qatar's historic way to unity and development, the celebration also availed them the opportunity to compliment their founding fathers for setting the stage for the country's historic development. Samuel Ba, GRTS.
Of the National Enterprise Development Initiative, NEDI, backed by their counterparts at the National Youth Service Scheme, the Ministry of Agriculture and the APRC Political Bureau have harvested their 7.5-hectare youth farm in Sapo, Central River Region. Modu Bajan went along, and this is his report.
To rice cultivation with a view to encouraging the youth of the country to embrace agriculture as a means of employment, it is now time for the National Enterprise Development Initiative and the National Youth Service Scheme to harvest their produce. It could be described as a classic way of leading by example. The event, dubbed Joint Traditional Field Day, engaged officials from the ministry in charge of youth matters, the Agriculture Ministry, APRC Political Bureau, and other stakeholders. The Acting Executive Director, NYSS, Sute Jawo, seized the opportunity to reiterate the main thrust of the agricultural venture.
Agriculture would be one of the biggest priorities of NYSS some years to come. And that is the more reason why some of our COP members, today you count them, there are more than 50 that we have sent to various countries ranging from Burkina Faso, Benin and Mali respectively, to train in agriculture and agronomy, and most of whom are already in the country now. All what we are doing now is to see how best we can bring those people into cooperatives so that they are able to join FATI and the core to be able to expand production around Sapo, being one of the most viable area for rice cultivation in this country.
When the Honorable Minister spoke, he said there is luxury in agriculture, and there is pride, and there is reward, and there is all those good things associated, to agriculture. Because at the end of the day, what you achieve, you can proudly stand and say, this is my sweat. This is our sweat.
The Minister of Youth and Sport, Aliu K. Jame, enumerated the benefits of youth involvement in agriculture apart from contributing to the national food basket.
Geared towards nothing but to empower young people as first priority, and secondly, in the drive of achieving food self-sufficiency for this country. Now, we are asking the young people to look back to agriculture, to come to agriculture and see it as a viable entity that can help them earn a living. That's the campaign that we are on, all on this, to get them understand that agriculture is a viable entity from which they can make a decent living for their own well-being.
The two bodies at the forefront of efforts to inspire and encourage the youth of the country to embrace agriculture have farms in several regions. This explains the presence of officials at the district and ward level in the presence of Alaji Mohamed Fati, the Sapo Farm Coordinator, Councillor Fatou Trawale, and Sefo Mamadou Lamin Drame, who also buttressed the importance of young, abled men and women to till the land and sow seeds in support of the national food self-sufficiency drive, whilst combating youth unemployment.
It is no understatement that the Gambia is blessed with more than enough arable land to cater for the basic food needs of this country of a population of around 2 million people. However, farming, particularly rice cultivation, cannot be left in the hands of women and the elderly if the country's food independence drive may be achieved.
The trial has been blessed by President Jammeh, and if anything, it is for the youth to follow his lead by putting their shoulders to the wheel. The Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Asimi Cole, like numerous others, also harped on the same point.
We need to feed ourselves. If you look at the population globally in this world, the trend at which we are going, if we do not go back to the land, my brother, we are going to get hungry, you know. You're talking of what? About